Visiting Nicaragua, you immediately see and feel the beauty of the land and people. I spent 12 days taking in the beautiful scenery, but also talking with the people and unfortunately finding out about their sad situations. Most of these people blame their poverty on the government, but are afraid to speak out. The rest of the people praise their communist country and hold up their president as if he were a saint. I interviewed a few locals and also got an opinion on if we should help the poor or not. The ethical question is, should we help the needy?
Nicaragua is a beautiful town. You buy a hacienda for a few pesos down. You give it to the lady you are trying to win, but her papa doesn't let you come in. Managua, Nicaragua is a heavenly place. You ask a senorita for a lethal embrace. She answers you caramba, scramba, bomberito. In Managua, Nicaragua, that's no. I have been to many tropic ports. I might include even Brooklyn. If you're ever feeling out of sorts, I'd like to recommend a look in Managua, Nicaragua. What a wonderful spot. There's coffee and bananas and the temperature hot. So take a trip and on a ship go sailing away across the agua to Managua, Nicaragua. Ole, ole, ole. Across the agua to Managua, Nicaragua. Ole. Nicaragua is a beautiful town. You buy a hacienda for a few pesos down. You give it to the lady you are trying to win, but her papa doesn't let you come in. Managua, Nicaragua is a heavenly place. You ask a senorita for a lethal embrace. She answers you caramba, scramba, bomberito. In Managua, Nicaragua, that's no. Every day is made for playing fun, 'cause every day is fiesta. And they work from 12 o'clock to 1, minus an hour for siesta. Managua, Nicaragua.
Do you think you should help the needy in Nicaragua?
I go to church every Sunday. I go to church every Sunday because my grandmother taught me to be a good Catholic. 90% of people in Nicaragua are Catholic. 90% of the population in Latin America are Catholics. Because, Spanish came here, put the cross here, and they're all Catholics, whatever. But, they always pass out that basket for the poor. Well, every time it passes me, I don't put any money in it. I don't, because I notice all these other people put money in it. But I always wonder, if this money is going to the poor, why is there so many poor people? Why are there still so many poor people? So I always thought this: if you give money to the poor, then there would be no more poor people to give money to. If I give my money away that I worked so hard for to the poor, then I would be
Poor.
And if I'm poor, no one's going to want to hire me. People don't hire poor people. Companies don't hire poor people. Especially in Nicaragua, they're not poor anymore. They're peasants. They're peasants. I know people that you see these kids that are out there and they're begging for money. Why aren't they in school? They're not in school. It's probably not their fault because they're children. They don't know any better.
So there's no law that says that they have to go to school?
There is a law in Nicaragua that says they can't have kids out there selling you waters or cookies or You know, they get the palm trees, leaves of the palm trees, and they make these really cool designs. You wonder how they do them. Amazing. These kids are amazing. They'll go grab a little bottle of water that says Aquafina, and they'll put it under the river, and they'll put a glue on it and make it seem like it's brand new, and they'll give it to you for cheaper than at the store. And these Americans, they start drinking it, and then they're like, bellies are bloated with I don't know what. Just, it's, drink that water. It could be whatever, disease or something.
Before we got on the plane, you warned me when we got off the plane in Nicaragua.
I know you're going to put this shit in.
Just listen to me. When we got off the plane in Nicaragua, not to look at people or the little children in the eyes because they were going to ask for stuff, like money. And you told me not to give them any money. Why?
Same reason. I just answered that question.
No, you didn't. You were talking about the people on the farms.
Yeah, it's the same way. Because their dad was a farmer, right? He's walking around, he's in the woods with his machete, and he knows how to cut bark a certain way. He'll teach his son how to chop that way. Then his other son would do the same thing. So if you have a mom that's so used to going out there begging for money, she's going to show her kids how to beg for money, and then she's going to send her kids out there when her kids get really good.
So you don't think, like, if a little kid comes up to me and asks me for...
What happened to that kid that asked you for the flour? He had to give you sad face, remember? He said, can I please have that? What did he do? He went to go sell it to the next person. There's your answer.
So don't do it. You don't think it's right?
Not in those areas. If you really want to go help somebody, you have to go far away. You don't have to go far away, but I mean, the tourist places, there's money thrown everywhere. People live tips when the bills already come with the tip.
So do you think that the government is, like, controlling the jobs? Because if someone isn't part of, let's say the Sandinistas, they're not going to get a good paying job, right?
Well, seems like you know more about the Sandinistas than I do. I didn't know what kind of card are you talking about.
Jobs. I didn't say car. I said job.
Oh, so you're saying, if people join the regime?
Yeah.
Of course, because the regime, the leftist government that we have here, and thanks to your president, Jimmy Carter, they're in power. You guys decide who gets checkmate anywhere, and right now the regime is there, and the United States doesn't do anything about it. I know it's not your guys' obligations, but you guys are always telling us what to do here. ¿Usted es doctor?
Conductor.
O conductor. Y conductor de
Taxi.
de taxi, ok. Usted dijo que vivió en los Estados Unidos, Miami.
Sí.
¿Ahí qué hacía?
Trabajaba de labrero.
Labrero. ¿Qué más? ¿Cuánto ganaba bien allá?
Sí.
Y aquí como conductor, ¿trabaja más duro aquí que trabajaba allá?
Mucho más duro y no ganó ni la primera parte de lo que ganaba allá.
¿Y cuántos taxis usted conducta? Como uno nada más. ¿Y cada mes cuánto saca usted cada mes? ¿Como cuánto? Como 3.500. Un poquito más de $100 pues.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Leonel Molina, de aquí en Otepe, Nicaragua. Vivo en Villa Esperanza, soy transportista. La situación económica aquí en Nicaragua pues, es lamentable, debido a la escasez de trabajo. Todo está mal aquí, yo no sé por qué incluso el combustible es más caro aquí en Nicaragua que en Estados Unidos. Independientemente que Nicaragua le vende petróleo a los demás países centroamericanos, aquí es más caro que en Honduras y en los diferentes países centroamericanos. Y vale más de $5 el galón de combustible. No entiendo por qué Estados Unidos, siendo una de las potencias mundiales más grandes, el combustible vale $4. El trabajo por cada día va peor.
Este es Daniel Ortega, como a la gente. Tengo la edad de 32 años, soy originario de aquí de Jinotep. Bueno, tengo prácticamente toda mi vida de vivir aquí en Jinotep, pero no he vivido en otra ciudad, otro departamento más que solo aquí. Bueno, mi inclinación política toda la vida siempre ha sido de la derecha. Prácticamente mis padres tenían una inclinación hacia Somoza, tío de Tabarro de Chamorro, la presidenta de Nicaragua, Álvaro Alemán, Enrique Bolaño. Prácticamente toda mi vida siempre he crecido en un seno prácticamente de la derecha. La verdad que yo creo que hoy en día aquí en Nicaragua está todo politizado. Las personas que buscan al gobierno, creo que esas son las personas que han salido adelante pues, por conveniencia. Y yo la verdad que yo he salido adelante, ya sea, yo no salí, he crecido espiritualmente. Yo nunca le he pedido por decirte, este gobierno no me gusta, porque yo creo que este gobierno está siendo muy perezoso a la gente. ¿En qué sentido? De que este gobierno le está regalando prácticamente terrenos, le está ganando, supuestamente, entre comillas, ¿no? Le está dando comida y en realidad no lo es, y la gente se está ateniendo a esa ideología que tiene este nuevo gobierno. Bueno, hay personas que son muy pobres que en realidad son las que necesitan, pero hay personas que son estudiados, son preparadísimos, y esas personas se están aprovechando. Yo creo que no les están dando a las personas que más necesitan, sino que le están dando a las personas que en realidad no necesitan. Y mi ideología siempre va a ser, son ellos seleccionados.
Okay, so my conclusion, I'm not really on one side or the other. On one side, I think that we should help the needy, and a lot of it is in part because I'm a mother, and when I see children, especially children suffering or needing something, I feel like I have to give them something because I would want someone to give my child something. But I'm also on the other side too, because I see a lot of these people, the adults teaching their children to go to places and ask for money, and they're not sending their children to school. They're not teaching their children anything to survive on, really, just begging. So I mean, we're helping these people by giving them money, but in the long run, it's not helping them. They're not being educated. They're not being taken care of in the long run. So I mean, I think that there's certain situations where we can help, where we can give them, clothes, or not directly money, but let's say clothes or food to help them. And I guess I think as people, as Americans, it's good for us to go over to countries like Nicaragua and, let's say, build businesses there where the locals can work there. I think that's, helping them more than actually giving handouts. So I'm kind of half and half. So that's my conclusion.